Okay, one of the conflicts continuously in the creation and sustenance of corporations really is the ability to balance short-term with long-term, right?
Yes.
Now, professionally speaking, there are lots of glib quotes that can help you understand this situation, right? Jack Welch, who's one of the most famous management thinkers in the world, and therefore, and also venerated for the success that he brought to General Electric, said anybody can manage short, anybody can manage long. Balancing those two things is what management is all about.
Okay.
What does our mythology say about whether you need to be short-termed, whether you need to be long-termed? And if you're going to choose the middle path and tell me, Menka, you need to be bits of both, please tell me how we achieve that.
You see, when you look at mythology, there is Vishnu, the god who sustains the world, is associated with two animals. One is called a serpent, a sarpa, or shesh, and other is a eagle, Garuda. There's something called Garuda Drishti, which is long sight, and there is Sarpa Drishti, which is immediate goals. The question is, what should I focus on first?
Right.
When you look at how the story of creation happens in India, the moment they talk about creation, they also talk about its destruction. They talk immediately about destruction, which means you don't just talk about the building of the organization. At the day it is begun, you discuss how it's going to die. It's not assumed to be immortal, because mortality is a universal truth, and you are aware of it. So you're discussing mortality. And then you say that, okay, if I'm going to be born and I'm going to die, how do I live a healthy and happy life? And how long can I sustain it? If that applies to health, the same thing applies to organizations. Unfortunately, the way we are structured, we break it down into bits. You see, we break it down into bits. And when a CEO takes over, for example, he's told your lifespan is 2 years or 3 years, and you have to win every year. You're not allowed to lose. So effectively, he's under pressure on the Sarpa Drishti. The shareholder says, I want winning every year, growth. Every year you have to grow, year on year, grow, be profitable. And that's where and I'm told that that's the measurement, and I'm told that's the reward. And if I'm going to last for 3 years, so I'll just make sure that I win 3 years. I'm not thinking about 30 years and 300 years. So perforce the system is saying Sarpa Drishti.
How do you correct that? Because you're always going to have someone in charge for a limited period of time. Yes. They're going to try and excel within that limited period of time, and therefore for them, short-termism will always be the first goal to achieve, as opposed to long-termism. I understand that the ideal should be long-termism, but not all of us can actually put that bill in that sense.
See, in the health case, you see, you can't escape the consequences.
You can't, and it's personal.
Yes. In an organization, you say, I can escape the consequences.
Because I want to be around. I will not be CEO, maybe.
You see, look at this is slightly more technical and beyond my space, but if I'm a shareholder of the company, what I need from the company is wealth. I don't care if the company, if it does something horrible, I won't be held responsible for it, right? That's what's limited. When it's called a limited company, the shareholder is not responsible for the horrible things the company does.
Right.
So
but he will have to bear the downside risk.
He just loses money.
Yes, but he's not complete. Yeah, well, that's an important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but if the faraway country is polluted by it,
he doesn't have to bear the ill effects.
I mean, this company will shut down. I lose some money, but I still maintain my lifestyle. So I'm not responsible for my consequences. So I just focus on that one side. I'm saying I'm not responsible for consequences. So give me my money back. I behave like a money lender. And I say, give me my money back. I don't behave like a shareholder. I behave like a money lender. So I've given you 10 rupees, you give me 20 rupees next month. And if you don't give it, I'll throw you out of the CEO position. So I own my vision is short term. I'm not responsible for the long term sustenance. So in a way, I have built into the system freedom from consequences.
Interestingly, you've made the case for family-owned businesses, right? For almost 10 years now in this country, we've looked at the phrase family-owned business with some amount of contempt. It's again a Western concept that we have all inherited over the past 20, 30, 40 years, that ideally an organization must have separation between ownership and management. It should be professionally run, and it should be run for the benefit of all stakeholders, as opposed to the benefit of the entrepreneur that may have started that organization. But there the problem is that if you're going to have leaders that come in for limited periods of time, they're going to be concerned with their immediate term.
Yes.
So short-termism.
Yes.
But if you have organizations owned by families that will patronize these organizations, help them sustain, help them grow over generations,
Yes.
that is long-termism.
Yes.
You're making the case then for family-owned businesses, a phrase that we've looked down upon in some ways for the last 10 to 15 years.
Look at the word professional. We are using it again without context. We're saying anywhere, anytime, if it's professional, it's good. Let's now decode professional. What does it mean, be professional? It means cut out emotions. Be logical.
Cut out the D.
So D does not matter.
Yes.
So out of the three goddesses, which for 3,000 years has been celebrated in India, we think one goddess is out.
Right.
Power. And please note, that is the one thing that we crave for as human beings. We want to feel powerful. And if I look at it physiologically, you're saying focus on the left brain. The right brain is bad. Right brain is not good. Focus on the left brain. And that's, we're saying that is good for the organization. The problem with the family-owned business is that it focuses too much on the right brain. So my son is better. My son may not be better. You see, India is called Bharata, and we forget a story of the name, this character called Bharat. There are many Bharats, of course, in mythology, but one very obscure story which is amazing, and I found it very interesting. It's about the son of Shakuntala, and he had many wives and many sons, but he rejected all the sons. And we don't know why. He said, he doesn't look like me. That's the literal translation. But perhaps, and then what he does is he adopts, or he's given by the gods, a son who's actually an illegitimate child, rejected by his parents, an orphan. And he elevates him to be the heir. If I decode the story, it's basically saying a king who rejected his own biological children in favor of a son who was good enough to rule. And we are named after that man, Bharata, Bharata.
It is equal to meritocracy.
Next week on Business Sutra.
Evolution of leadership. It's not becoming one style, it's context. Early phases, Parshuram. Perfect phase, Ram. Then become Krishna, create talent, and then move out. Go away. The world will continue without you. It has been continuing for
And if it
millions of
doesn't
years.
deserve to continue, it will self-implode.
It will self-implode. So chhod do.
Detach.
To send us your feedback, SMS BizSutra space your response or question and send it to 51818. Or you can email us at bizsutra@in.com. And you can watch this episode and the entire series on YouTube.